Hello and welcome to Were You Not Entertained, where two film fans discuss their favorite flicks. I'm Daniel,
And I'm James.
and we are going to talk about Bloodshot.
The new Vin Diesel flick that got added to streaming extraordinarily fast because all the theaters are closed.
Yeah, exactly.
And just a heads up as well, as always, we're going to spoil stuff. But another heads up, if the sound quality sounds a little bit different, please give us some slack on that because we are recording remotely due to the virus outbreak.
That's not really why. I just didn't want to see your face, so.
That's also 100% legitimate. Even I don't want to see my face.
Well, lucky for you.
Yeah. I live in a house of mirrors, so it's a nightmare.
Yeah. So we are recording remotely from the safety of our own homes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to cover Bloodshot.
Yeah.
Which was also viewed from the safety of our own homes.
Indeed. Doing our social distancing stuff.
Yeah, this actually, the movie actually came out, I'm trying to remember exactly, March 13th. So it actually hit the theater right while all this stuff was going on. And I think it was in the theater for maybe a few days before
cities started getting
before
shut down,
cities,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
not a good time to release a movie.
Nope, not a good time for a lot of things. It's rough out there right now. So
yes, true story.
So luckily, they put it to streaming services so that we could check it out, and I'm glad that we get that little bit of reprieve, something interesting to do during these unusual times. And so let's talk about the movie itself.
Yeah, let's do it. So this is actually based off of a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really read the comic book or anything like that.
No, I'm not familiar with it either.
Yeah, so from looking at some of the pictures and things like that, it looks like he kind of uses swords, but that definitely was not the case in this movie.
All right.
He was using guns in his fists.
Yeah, so he was kind of a monster, man. That was
awesome. He was.
There were some really cool aspects to this movie. It is a Vin Diesel action flick, so it does have some serious cheese to it at times. And some of the lines or some of the way that the story progresses, I was like, all right, but it's still super fun, man. I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it for sure. There were definitely some things like bits and pieces of story or plot that I was a little, I guess, confused on. I guess as a for instance, when what's his name?
That's not very specific.
No,
a few men in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
Description of the person. What?
Yeah, the other
did they have?
It was none. It was the other tech guy.
Eric?
Yeah, interesting. This is
Are you talking about the tech guy who used the open source code from Wilfred?
No, Wilfred. There we go. Thank you.
Okay,
Jeez.
Wilfred. Yeah,
the
good techie.
Yeah, the good techie. So after, sorry about all that. After he'd kind of brought Bloodshot, I guess we'll just call him, or Ray, whatever you want to call him, back. He kind of brought him back, and then he left. Ray left, And then kind of the next time you see him is when KT is supposed to go after him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like bodyguards. So I was like, okay, so you were held captive, but you have bodyguards?
Well, I mean, he could have hired him afterwards, after Bloodshot went and killed the last target who was holding Wolford. I can't remember his name. It was Barris or something like that.
Barris, yeah.
Yeah. So after he killed Barris and Wolford was then free, I mean, I have a feeling the first thing he's going to do is get bodyguards, because he's afraid that Bloodshot's going to get caught again and reset to go kill him.
It just seemed, yeah, I mean, it's plausible. It is. It just seemed kind of odd. Like the tech guy, he's not a bad guy. He's not a super powerful guy. He's none of these things. He's just seems anyway, like just a really, really smart guy. And then next thing you see, he's got like an army of bodyguards around him.
Hey, maybe he knew where the briefcase was held in Barris's house.
Yeah, maybe.
Walked out of there with some cold hard cash.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just hacked Barris's account and dumped all of his money into his.
We'll go with that. I can accept that. Anyway, it was just kind of weird to me.
They didn't show stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. There was just a few things that I was kind of like, huh, how'd we get here? Alrighty.
The thing for me was I was very much on the moment as soon as I saw that it was created based off a comic book. Because some of the pacing early on, I felt like, well, I really feel like you shouldn't have like given that, shown those cards until later. But if it was paced out more of an episode by episode comic book, that would make a lot more sense, because you'd have more of the cliffhangers early on and things like that.
Right.
And so the way the story unfolds, I'm not sure. I think there were some pacing issues, but if it was because it was adapted from the comic book, they might have been trying to be more true to the pacing of that storyline.
Right. Yeah. I'll believe that. I can buy that. My question for you is, did you see kind of the plot twist coming, like where it was? They kind of showed it in the previews. So, I mean, you kind of have an idea what's supposed to be going on anyway, but
are you talking about of KT's turn? Or what?
No, I'm talking about the fact that Ray basically was reliving the same dream, I suppose,
that one. Okay.
Over and over again in order to accomplish the means.
I did not completely. I was under, and that part of the thing I love about this movie was the performance from Guy Pearce, because I was fully bought in. I thought that in the beginning, KT was trying to give an excuse that Dr. ML went along with about him not having a family, to spare him from finding out about his wife's death and interfering with the project that way. Not that they had implanted that into his brain. So I did not follow that. I was under the impression that both Guy Pearce's character, Dr. ML, and KT were both good guys.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, there was just, like, for me, there was something about, like, when he was in the room, kind of when they did the raid or whatever to save that guy that was being held hostage. Mm-hmm. And then he killed the guy, but he looks down and he's shot, right?
Yeah.
But then the next thing you see is he's getting off of a plane, like at the base, and no bandage, no blood, no nothing. And then he's off to like dream vacation.
Yeah, which I also did find interesting. I was wondering at first whether that was a production mistake,
right?
Because he had damage on his upper left shoulder, but you never saw a patch down near his side, which is
yeah, exactly. So that was I was kind of curious about that at first. So I was like, well, did they just kind of do some weird timing thing and they just kind of forgot about that one? or is this like part of it? Right. So once you kind of get into it, and he's going to kill, what was his name? Oh, anyway, the first guy that he killed. So like when he was in the back of the SUV, like freaking out, like he's having like a panic attack, and like he doesn't seem like he's a crazy psychopath guy.
Okay, yeah, no, it was when he was trying to kill Martin Axe.
Yeah, that's it. Martin Axe. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was a little confused because, yeah, Martin didn't act like I murdered your family.
Right.
Like I'm surprised you're back, but since you are, this kind of makes sense, is how I would feel about it. And I'm like, you should be dead would be the thing going through my head. I killed you. That's what I would have been. You would have had that classic movie bad guy, I killed you thing going on.
Exactly.
But he didn't. He was like, no, I'm the only one who can help you, man.
Right. I'm here for my revenge.
Right.
But yeah, I did like. Thanks for the advice. You're making a mistake. Thanks for the advice.
Right.
It was a nice feedback of that line. I thought, yeah, okay, that's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I would have liked to have seen in this as well is if they had more time, if it would have lingered on the fact that Vin Diesel's character Ray had shown some more remorse for all the people that he killed while he was being controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And I get, like, it wasn't under your control and bad guys made you do it. But if he's supposed to be the good guy, that's something that I think would have endeared him a little bit more to the audience. That he just got mad. He just got angry about it and was like, all right, cool. Well, now I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, it was a lot like that. And I was kind of shocked to find that. So Martin Axe kind of seemed.
Hold on a second. Just to stay on that same topic, I totally would have, if I was him, I would have like, first thing, KT, how many people have I killed like this?
Right.
Like, what am I looking at? Am I going to go into every city in the entire world and have hitmen after me?
Yeah. Is everybody now mad at me?
Because I'm just a murder bot? Literally?
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Back to what you're saying.
No, it was just, so like Martin Axe, while he was surrounded by a bunch of like mercenary kind of tough guy security guards, he didn't seem like he was necessarily a bad guy, right? He didn't have like bad guy kind of behaviors, I suppose.
No,
but
none of them are bad guys.
Well, when you got to Barris, it was a different story. He was actually
because he was
a bad guy.
Wilford hostage.
Well, he had Wilford hostage. He had an EMP that he was going to use to take out the entire power of the city.
I think he had the EMP as a last ditch resort to protect him against Bloodshot.
Well, yeah, but you still put out an entire city. That's not something good guys usually do. Good guys like run away.
Fair enough.
What's my escape plan? I'm running.
You've seen all of the people who used to work for the same company as you die by this murder monster. Sorry your lights went off over the night, but trying not to get killed by an unstoppable killing machine.
No, your lights don't go off overnight. It's an EMP. He just killed everything that you have across the whole city. Computer, dead. Lights, dead. Car, dead.
Oh, man. Is that... I'm not familiar with how EMPs actually work. Does it actually,
electromagnetic pulses will actually fry electronics.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, he just, knocked the entire city back to the Stone Age.
So all those people on respirators and stuff are
right. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. So that's kind of why I was like, and like his mentality and everything. That's why I said,
But I mean,
he seemed
if
like a bad guy. He had more of the bad guy persona, I guess,
I
to
also
me.
don't think the EMP works that way in the movie itself, because the nanobots would have all been fried then,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he just got
True.
rebooted. So
Yeah, he got electrocuted back to life.
yeah, that was out of all of this movie, I felt like that putting him on a metal bed and cooking a car battery was the least likely thing to work. Like his face reconstructing from a gunshot real time while standing because nanobot particles are flying back into place was more realistic than him rebooting from being electrocuted on a metal bed.
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It definitely had its moments where I was like, yeah, that's kind of stupid, but okay. But I still enjoyed watching it. It wasn't
I didn't go into this looking for an Academy Award, man.
right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I wasn't I can't say that I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't have high expectations of it in the first place.
And they didn't exceed those.
Right, exactly. I mean, it
Well,
it delivered kind of where I thought it would.
yeah, I mean, yes. It's a really fun movie. It takes your mind off of things for a little while. It's got some incredible action and some cool ideas built into it, and some pretty decent performances. Guy Pearce, especially. Guy Pearce is always great in my mind, and I thought he did a really good job here. He kind of straddled that likable, but at the same time, you didn't feel like he was inherently evil.
Hmm.
There was a borderline. He was just obsessed with his work and obsessed with getting it right and becoming rich and powerful, and that while he was the bad guy because he was willing to go to lengths that were unexcusable, um there was that kind of like ability to understand where he's coming from, whether or not you agreed with him.
Right. Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah, I say in the beginning, I I didn't really dislike him as much. It was just kind of I don't know, he's overextended himself as far as his ambition versus his uh, humanity, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, as we got further along, I was like, yeah, okay, dude, you just totally suck.
Yeah, and there was the thing that really turned me on him was the one scene when the EMP went off at Barris's house, and he was like, they tell him that an EMP just went off, and he's like, I have nothing on the screen. Get me a signal. And I'm just like, you later in the movie claim that you're the only one that can help him because of your advanced technology, but you clearly don't understand how advanced technology works if you don't get that the cameras and the
Right,
signal aren't going to be working because an EMP just went off and shut the city down. In fact, you have satellite footage to confirm it.
right,
So, like, that was one of those moments that I was like, are you just so angry that you're going to yell at your lackeys for something that you clearly know they have no control over? And that's why you're the bad guy? Or are you that stupid and you think you know more than you do, and it's really all your lackeys that have gotten you as far as you have?
right. Yeah, exactly. Um, I think it was a combination of that and then like how he was with KT, like how he turned off her lungs essentially.
Yeah, respirator. It was the
When I was
facade
like,
of niceness.
yeah, it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna pretend like we're on the same team, but when it comes down to it, I'm just gonna turn off your lungs so you can't breathe
Right.
because you're not doing what I want you to do. And it's like, okay, you've got a serious complex.
Yeah, that was they set up her defection really early too.
Yeah, she wasn't happy with the situation.
No. I guess that was. I wonder if they had done some test screenings and seen if later on, if she had been more clearly a defector later on, if it seemed like too fast of a switch. But
Oh, I don't know.
yeah, that was a little surprising to me. I was like, okay, so as soon as I find out there's some wonkiness with the situation, I also find out KT's not happy about it, and she's probably going to be one of the people inside to help me out,
Right.
to help
Yeah,
out
exactly.
the main character. Um, One thing I gotta say though, like we're getting close to the favorite scenes part. That dude, Jimmy Dalton, played by Sam Hagen. We'll say that.
Hmm.
That guy was a douche,
Yeah,
man.
yes.
Really
Yes, he
didn't like
was.
him. Yeah, he got everything he deserved and more. Like he was kind of a jerk.
Yeah. He was definitely not not a favorite character of mine. I was like, please hurt him badly.
I wish there had been a little
Um,
bit more nuance with him though. He seemed very one note.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. They could have probably done a little bit more with him, but I think they really cemented his character when he told Ray, kind of like when Ray was about to be, I guess, flashed for lack of a better term.
Right.
And he was, laying on the bed and about to go under, and he, told him the truth and how much he actually enjoyed like being that guy, that I was like, okay, that's just it's like, it's okay to be just like an ass, I guess, for the sake of being an ass, and still not be just a super despicable person. But he was pretty despicable.
That's funny because I actually felt the complete opposite about that scene. I felt like that was the only explanation you got for why he was an asshole is because he's been doing this for so long that he's just super. He's annoyed with it because it's
Yeah, I
somebody
think
who's
he's
reset every single time, and he has to be the one to come in and clean up the mess. He's not the one who gets to go out and do the cool stuff because he's
right. That's
clearly
what he's annoyed
ex-military.
with. He's annoyed with being on the bench.
Right.
That didn't. I mean, that doesn't make me. Yeah, it didn't make me feel any better about him.
Yeah, the moment that he like did that weird macho stand in front of KT thing in the
Hmm.
hallway,
Yeah.
that was the moment I was like, that doesn't what was that even for, man? That's just being an asshole. Like
Right.
that really was just like, okay, yeah, you're clearly the one who's gonna die.
Yeah, you've got
Like,
to.
yeah, now this guy has to die at some point in the movie. Cool. But
Exactly.
all right.
Exactly.
Well, was there anything else that you wanted to cover before we got into our favorite scenes?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I do want to say real quick that while we did kind of pick it apart and talk about some of the things that weren't great about the
We
movie,
did. Yeah.
like we said earlier, it was super fun. The special effects were really cool. It had a really cool design to it, like when they were fighting in the tunnel with all of the flour everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
creating this kind of fog of war mixed with some cool effects from it being thrown up during the battle.
Well, don't
Um,
talk too much about that. That's my job.
okay. Well, there was some really cool design elements to it as well. I thought that it was visually awesome. Some great fight scenes, and the things that it was lacking in were things I kind of expected it to be lacking in when I walked into it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't I
What was
don't
in it?
think that the story was like the best story of all comic book stories. But I think it really delivered on the action and the special effects.
Yeah,
And that's to me kind of what made it so much fun to watch.
absolutely. And it was a cool kind of concept as well. I mean, you had the Matrix idea of that you can download any information that you need right away and how to fly the plane. You know what I mean?
Right.
You,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was that you don't have to be in the Matrix to have these abilities. That nanoparticles is a way that people could do that.
Yeah, which is really cool. I want
Yeah,
that technology.
they had some cool ideas in this that I really appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, then let's go ahead and jump on into it. What was your favorite scene, Daniel?
Well, so you already kind of started talking about it, but my favorite scene was in the tunnel
Yeah.
after he wrecks the flower truck to stop the convoy. I love that they hop out and throw out red flares.
Yep.
So you've got flour everywhere, and there's kind of this mist, I guess, kind of in the air. It's just flour floating in the air, and the ground is completely white. And just the whole fight scene in there, you get to kind of see some of kind of how powerful he is, because he was not a super tactician. So like in the very beginning of the movie, you can kind of see his tactical abilities, like clearing rooms and that kind of stuff. Even like I need to use the phone. Where's the phone? That ploy, his tactics. And in this, he was just full bore. I don't care if you shoot me, blow me up. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt me.
Right.
And he was just taking it. He was taking it all. And I really liked the effects of when he finally busts the glass on the SUV to try to get it at Martin.
Holding up the dude with the grenade in his
Yeah, exactly. So he blows up the dude on the glass.
And I do like how they like had Bloodshot fly off whenever that happened. That the impact was heavy enough. It's just because he's invincible, basically, doesn't mean that he's all powerful or anything.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't just hold the guy there and boom, right? Then put him down. But yeah, so immediately after that, he walks back to the window, and the guy in the front of the SUV shoots him in the face. And that kind of scene right there, where you get to see the the destruction, and then everything kind of come back together. Mm-hmm. It was really cool.
That was awesome.
So yeah, I enjoyed that whole scene.
Very good scene. Now, one thing I do have a question about isn't like flour dust extraordinarily flammable? Like to the point where red flares would like have set all that shit on fire?
I don't know if flour dust is. I know sugar dust is.
I know that if you try to put, from what I understand, if you try to put flour on like a fire in the kitchen, like that shit will just go up and your whole house is gone now.
Huh. Yeah, so it is. It's
oh, you just Googled it or something?
It's explosive.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's the only thing that I was like, I'm guessing that's flour because he's like kicking flour bags into people and stuff.
Yeah, no, it said flour on the side of the truck.
Okay.
And I was kind of thinking that at first too. Yeah. I was like, isn't that, but then I was like, oh, maybe that's just sugar. But no, flour is explosive. It really did. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
obviously they weren't really using flour.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some plausible deniability. You just have to give the movie, suspend your disbelief a little, because the flammability of flour is not the only micro mistake that's made.
Right. Yeah. So. Exactly. Yeah. So sugar is flammable as well. So
yeah.
So household products that will blow stuff up.
For the day. Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was yours?
That's a tough one because there's so many good ones. For me, it would have probably been the one where he's invading Varys's house.
Mm-hmm. 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 It's a good one
because it's the first time as an audience, you now know what's going on. And it's the first time he's been put in any real danger because you don't know what that device is going to do, whether the EMP will actually kill him or just reset him or what. And you're introduced to the new character with Wilfred, and he's clever and cheeky and entertaining character. He's got jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another example of his tactics, like you were talking about earlier, intentionally getting shot in the beginning so that he'd be dragged inside.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The Trojan horsing him. And so
Exactly.
it just kind of is a culmination. I think if you were to say to somebody, hey, do you want to watch Bloodshot? And they're like, I don't know. Like, if you show them that scene, if they're not into that, they're not going to like the movie. It's just kind of a nice, neat package as a scene, because it kind of covers all of the different pieces. The fact that's when you first have Dr. Amel turn off KT's respirator as well during that portion.
Right.
So you get all of the different pieces of the movie kind of wrapped up into one mini climax.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Very true.
Plus some pretty cool action, man.
Yeah, it has the whole thing's got really good action. I was happy. I was happy about that.
I was pleased.
Yes.
I could even say I was entertained.
I was entertained. Yes.
All right. Well, then I think that about wraps it up for Bloodshot. Did you have any last minute things you wanted to cover?
Nope.
Awesome. So enjoyed the movie. Definitely recommend it. Hope you guys can enjoy some mindless violence as much as we did. If you want to check out some of our episodes, please do so. Let us know what you think. Like and subscribe. And join us next time on Were You Not Entertained?